follow him for the next whatever until that charge is stuck. Grand jury can issue the subpoenas, grand jury can issue the injunctions, grand jury can follow them for wherever they jump in the world. What I'm saying is, if they're the people who are running a foreign power agenda, well, don't take their passports off them. Just let them get on the plane, wave goodbye and say goodbye. Go to that place. Then don't come back, because you'll be charged if you come back. Is that reasonable? It's no different than if you're the CEO of a company, but in actual fact you're working for the opposing company down the road, and you totally intend to take all their products and their clients, and you're staying here picking up their wages until you get all that. Yeah. You need to be found and sacked. Full stop. One more question, please. I see 2 hands come up. You can keep yours for a little while because you and I, we're working on Saturday. Yours. Sit up. Stand up.
What happened to even to the lawyers no excuse? What's their excuse?
Do they have one? Amen. Their excuse has been the electorate's ignorance, coupled with apathy. Has that just finished tonight? Now, can we please, I'm saying it graciously, if somebody wants to ask something, I won't stop you, but can I officially close the meeting? Now, thank you all for your attendance. Please do not go away and not do anything. Go away and say, we have got 6 weeks to do something and do it now, or you're going to lose your law.
Right. Before we go, do you suggest just sending someone to format the letter? Do you suggest anyone that may format that letter to also get a certified copy of a notary or 3 good men?
No, not in any way, shape or form. Only because you doing it properly and doing it correctly and doing it with registered staff is totally adequate. I understand your point. But let me ask you this point. When you're asking a notary or a JP to sign something, and I did a lot of that in West Australia, because they took the Crown out of the Justices Act. So I said, when you sign it as a JP, are you aware that the Crown is out? They look up and say, no. I said, well, what would be your jurisdiction now that you know? Well, who did that? I'll give you a couple of examples. So when you're talking about notaries and whatever, no, you are doing that in the standing of being an elector within the Commonwealth Constitution.
Therefore, it comes back, then it wouldn't hurt to have 3 good men in charge of the electorate.
Totally.
Which is higher than a notary.
Totally. I agree. The more you put on that, the more you can clearly put on that one letter where the name and address, and particularly the word elector, appears, the more... this is what a former politician said to me the other week. He said, when we get 1 letter from the electorate, we really don't care, we just shred it. When we get 10, we think we've got a problem coming in here. When we get 100, we have to address that problem. Or some of us lose our seats on the difference of 30 votes. But what am I actually saying here? Anyone who nominates for any seat right now, with what you now know, are they going to be involved in criminal activity? Now, when you prorogue the Parliament, it doesn't need to come back in 42 days, because who runs the Parliament while it's all sitting? You've got a section in the Act that says 7 special ministers run it. They don't appear in the electoral thing or whatever. But so that Parliament will just, or that the government goes on because the special ministers run it. Are you aware of that? So you don't need it coming back in 42 days. You might say, you can't prorogue that. You cannot. Well, in answer to my question. Here's the question. If Julia Gillard and Quentin Bryce... Please sit down for a minute. If Julia Gillard and Quentin Bryce took the wrong oath, can they prorogue the Parliament? If Julia Gillard gets back in and Quentin Bryce purportedly issues a new writ, is the new writ valid or invalid? Well, you've got a whole lot of legals coming in behind, and if you don't get into gear in understanding what you can do, it'll be too late. So get doing what you know you can do. Most of you would have attended tonight because you have some degree of knowledge. I don't think you've walked in here as innocents.
Why do you explain that? If they take this off the table, as you call it, is that you saying that they're actually removing our ability to vote on creating a law, and we are from that act passing on our personal responsibility to vote onto the politicians we've chosen, thereby releasing our private individual ability to vote for any law?
What they're actually saying is there's going to be a plebiscite box there if you want a republic. The moment you tick that plebiscite box, which purportedly gives you a referendum, would you trust them to give you the referendum after you tick that plebiscite box? Have they given the referendums that they should have given? Well, would you trust them to give one when they've now got a new document? And they've blocked out all the courts in every way for you to come in. Would you trust them to give you that? The simple answer is no.
But that's an assumption. We have to assume that they're deceitful. So if we assume that they are going to do the right thing and we trust them, and then it turns out they're deceitful, doesn't it mean that by their own deceitfulness, by failing to provide what they promised, any act which they then try to enact or enforce becomes invalid anyway?
How do you, if you do that and permit that, how do you get the court to activate on what you need to activate on? The court's going to say exactly what they did to that man. Please shut the door on your way out and pay the cost as you pass the door.
Can't we go to a Chester's court?
Oh, please. Please. If you want to run that thing, jump on a flight and go and do it. I know exactly the pain and grief you'll inflict on yourself. But please, everyone's reactivating the wheel here.
Well, I've got one question.
Can we-
Before you go any further, if everyone here knows about this now, aren't we compliant and now also, you could also be charged with treason?
Actually, magnificent question.
Okay?
Okay, let
Everyone
us
here who does
formulate.
nothing about this now and does nothing about it could also be charged with treason.
Magnificent question. Let us formulate. Don't sit down. Let us formulate something that comes from just what you said. That it can be as simple as this. We, as Australians, attended a meeting on such and such a day and discovered that unless we reveal treason, we ourselves can be charged for concealing it. Now, at this point, you now must activate those grand juries so that we are not the offender. You can do that as whatever way you want, taking it from this meeting tonight. I was driving with the President of One Nation in Perth one time years ago, and he said, Brian, if I don't deal with this, I can be charged for treason. I said, that's totally correct. That's totally correct. And what you put together there is actually totally correct. Anyone concealing this, once they have got information concerning it, is able to be charged. And that's occurs by a grand jury. A grand jury just simply says who had knowledge and can you prove it. And you've got to give them the list.
So you mean that us attending here,
What the man said is absolutely true. If you go to the electoral poll with this knowledge, you can be charged with concealing treason. What he said is true. Yeah, run straight out that door all the way to England. That what you assume.
Can I just reveal who I am? My name's Barry Searle. I've run twice in the Queensland state elections as an independent candidate because I've had a gut full of all this shit. I've been watching it for years. In my own electorate of Ryan, I have a candidate who was pre-selected by people who weren't Australians. He's running as an independent candidate at the next federal election because by doing so he'd be eligible for a superannuation package for the rest of his life. That amount of money will pay for at least a major child's hospital, which won't be happening because it'll be going to his particular superannuation. I also run a local paper. I print 25,000 magazines every month, and I intend to run with this. And if any of you here have had the guts to come here and don't do something along the same sort of lines, well then you should be charged with treason. Because if what Brian's saying is true, we do need to do something about this. And every single one of you are looking at me in my eyes. If you go home and do nothing from this day, well then you should be charged with treason.
Well
What you're
said.
saying is true, and I think it is. I've been listening very carefully. I've had a look at some of your stuff on your website. I've spoken to other people that have been involved with this for some time. I'm right there with you, Brian, and I hope you can spend a bit of time with me after this and we can get together and have a bit of a chat.
Thank you. Well said. Now, I ask a question. Is anybody in disagreement with what that man just said?
Don't forget the name, Larry Sterling.
We have to like it.
If you were the next candidate for that seat, I will be the man who charges you. Do you like that? Then you can charge me for laying a false charge on you and we'll get a jury trial. Which one will lose? Amen. Amen to that. And that's why with this civil rubbish, and yours is only civil, the moment you move it into criminal, you've swung the pendulum. And everyone who nominates for a candidate seat is eligible to be charged, including the person you're talking about. Now, I'll give you an example. Please, there's a document over there. Please, can you find that document, the brief of evidence? It's in your box. This document itself will be available on our website after Wednesday. It's not available until Wednesday because we have to do more legal work with it. But if you want to actually place a $50 order for the document, we will post it. Now, the reason why I'm saying $50, it costs $10, it costs $16 in postage and all the rest of the stuff. You'll get a document like that. It's actually called Brief of Evidence. This document will be placed on our website after Wednesday. But listen to the front of it. Remembering that Julian Gillard is in Werribee. It says the Constitution and the law of treason. Prime Minister Julian Gillard attainted with treason, therefore disqualified by Section 44 of the Commonwealth Constitution, and my name's on the bottom. This will go into Werribee next week. What will that do with her seat? In the same way the man you're talking about, the moment this went to every Attorney General by Platinum Post today. It went to every Senator in Queensland by Platinum Post 2 days ago. It went to every Victorian Senator last week. It went to the Governor-General 2 days ago. And it went to the Chief Justice French 2 days ago. Where are they all going to go now they got this? Because this is knowledge now. You get the point? So they're actually, and that's probably why Quentin Bryce is not in the country today. She's over there. No, this is a bigger one than that. That's the little one. This is the brand new fresh one. This has got 130 odd pages in it. That's got about 40. This is the, what you call at the top, brief of evidence. This is the beginning of what you call presenting the case. But you've all heard tonight, please hold on to that and don't let anyone take it off. You've all heard tonight that a serious indictable offence has occurred. Now let me give you an example. When the Supreme Court first told me, look, we don't want you laying these charges here till you've given them to the police. So 4 farmers, 4 of us, I want you to get a movie called Evelyn, E-V-E-L-Y-N. When you've seen that movie, you can identify with us. But these 4 farmers went to the cop shop in Ballarat. The copper said in uniform, I'm not taking that, I'll have to get a detective. He went upstairs, the detective finally came down the stairs after half an hour, looking at us like, you're going to be in this cop shop for about another half a minute. And he started talking about it, but I reached down into my bag and pulled out the Evidence Act of Victoria 1958. Well read, well worn, and he got a shock when he saw it come out of the bag. And it says under section 121 here, if you are complicit to this, you are the principal to the offence. And he said, come upstairs. And we're up there for 3 hours. So this little, you got on there in 10 minutes, didn't happen. Why? Because I read the rule book. And you've got, don't go back and read the current rule books, read the ones that they should be doing before they alter them all. That's why when some farmers in West Australia asked me to come over and help them about 2000, I said, put me in a motel or whatever for a whole week I want the Evidence Act, the Interpretation Act, your State Act, your Constitution, all on the table and leave me alone for a week until I read them. All that happened.